Okay, Maria, we're all here.
Good afternoon. This is call number 2021-16030 in the interest of Isaiah Ace Ortega. All parties and witnesses, please raise your right hands to be sworn. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes,
I do.
Ms. Subias?
I do.
Okay. Ma'am, please state your name and your relationship to the child.
Jacqueline Subias, and I am Isaiah Ace Ortega's biological mother.
Sir, your name and your relationship to the child.
Jonathan Ace Ortega, and I'm a father.
All right. And representing the Attorney General's office.
Sharday Parker, Your Honor.
And this is an original petition and a suit affecting parent-child relationship. And we're having a hearing. Do we have any stipulations?
Yes, we do, Your Honor.
Let's read those into the record.
Okay, the parties stipulate that Mr. Ortega is the father. They stipulate to sole managing conservatorship, with Ms. Subias being the parent with the right to determine the primary residence within Harris and contiguous counties. They stipulate to the non-disclosure of Ms. Subias's address. They further stipulate to court costs. They stipulate to cash medical support in the amount of $90 per month. Those are all the stipulations, Your Honor.
All right. So far, is that your agreement, Mr. Ortega
Yes, sir.
and Ms. Subias?
Yes.
All right. And what are the issues, Ms. Parker?
Well,
Well,
my
the
issue. Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
the remaining issue is the amount of the child support, the visitation. Ms. Subias would like a phase-in visitation schedule, and Mr. Ortega would like just regular visitation. And then the retroactive child support.
All right. Let's proceed.
Your Honor, the state would like to call Jonathan Ortega.
Okay.
Mr. Ortega, are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
And where are you currently employed?
I'm working for a shipyard through a staffing agency.
And how long have you been working at this job?
About 4 months.
Okay.
How long? I'm
and-
sorry, I didn't hear. How long?
About 4 months.
10 years. Okay.
No, 4 months, he
4
said, Your Honor.
4 months.
Yes.
All right.
And prior to that job, where were you employed?
I wasn't working.
Okay. And were you incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the time period of your incarceration?
11 years.
And were you incarcerated before or after your son was born?
He was 3 months old.
Okay, so from the time he was 3 months old until when when were you released from prison?
This March.
Okay, so up until March 3rd of 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so would you be in agreement with the retroactive child support period being from March 3rd, 2021 until today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you were in agreement with the amount of $2,736 to be paid back at $55 per month beginning November 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and during that time where you were in prison, did you see your son at all?
Almost every weekend.
And did he come to visit you at the jail or the prison, excuse me?
Yes, ma'am.
And who brought him there?
She did.
And when you say she did, you mean Miss Subias?
Yes, ma'am.
And so would you say that your son knows you?
Yes, ma'am.
And since you've been out of jail, has your son ever spent any time with you?
I spent the first week with him, but after that, she kind of did her own thing.
Okay, but for the first week after you're out of jail, you and him were together.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're just requesting that you have the regular standard possession order, which is, be able to have every other weekend with your child and then the holidays and things like that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you feel like this would be in the best interest of your son?
I honestly would like more if I could. And yes, I do.
Okay, so you just want to spend time with him and build a better relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I'm going to show you something. Did you provide a pay stub? Did you provide us with a pay stub?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Before we get on to that, Mr. Ortega, you say you spent the first week after you were released from jail with your son. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Where?
At my sister's house.
At your sister's house. Was the mother there?
She would come back and forth.
Okay, but he stayed at your sister's house overnight?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for a week.
Almost a week.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Ms. Parker.
Okay. So I'm going to, okay, Your Honor, it's not allowing me to share the pay stub.
Well, is there any question about what he earns?
Well, no, I'm going to, okay. And on that pay stub, how much are you earning per hour at your current employer?
16.
And do you also work overtime?
I've worked overtime a couple of times.
Okay, you've worked overtime a couple of times since you've been paid. So on the pay stub, if it said your year to date was $11,586, and that was for the period this was from your paycheck that you got on 9/23, you would have no reason to doubt that that's correct, correct?
Yes,
Okay. And when the child support was done, it was based off of this pay stub with the child support in the amount of $456, correct?
yes, ma'am.
And you were in agreement with that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
Ms. Subias, do you have any questions of Mr. Ortega?
Well, I did give him the benefit of the doubt to meet my son out here in the
Okay,
free world.
hold on, Ms. Subias. I'm gonna allow you to say something later
Okay.
on, but right now,
Okay.
he's on the witness stand. Do you have any questions for him?
No, not at this moment.
Okay, Ms. Parker.
Your Honor, the state would like to call Jacqueline Subius.
All right.
Okay, Ms. Subius, you heard the testimony regarding the child support amount in the amount of $456 per month, and you're not in agreement with that, correct?
Correct.
Why are you not in agreement with that?
Just the simple fact that, me as a woman, I had to work 2 jobs, before to take care of my child. So why can't he not get 2 jobs to provide for his child? Did something occur that he's disability while he was locked up, or what's the issue? Living expenses nowadays is not the same from back in the days when he was out here before he got incarcerated. My son likes football. I have to pay for daycare. There's just many other things, tons of things that nowadays has changed. Nothing is, it's pretty cheap nowadays. Everything's expensive. And the way my son, I raised him, his living wise is, it's not how do I say it? It's not pretty cheap. I've kind of raised him a little spoiled. He do things that he likes to do, activities, when he goes to main events and stuff like that, or any little fun activities, it does get a little pricey. Even Chuck E. Cheese itself might be like spending almost $400 when you leaving that place. So I'm just saying, just be a little fair.
Okay, but you understand that child support is based off the income that he's making currently, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you have no proof that the income that he's provided is not the income that he's making currently, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And in terms of visitation, what type of visitation are you requesting?
Well, as of now, I would like supervision, and the reason why, because the time that I did allow my child to go over there for that 1 week, like he says, or almost a week, my child came back home telling me things that he didn't like,
Such as?
such as it's pretty dirty, there's cockroaches, it's not clean, smoking marijuana at home. I don't like that. I don't do drugs. My son
I,
doesn't. My
I
son does
don't,
not know of any things like that.
I don't stay at my
Sir,
sister's house.
sir, nobody's talking to you right now. You're gonna have an opportunity, not right now.
Okay. Okay. And Ms. Subius, are you aware if he's still staying at that same location?
That I know of, yes, he's still staying at that same current location. I mean, his sisters do, be having marijuana at that house. So I would not like my child to be around that, period.
Okay, but how do you know that he's still staying at his sister's house?
Because he had told me over social media, he had tried to get a hold of me, and I answered his call, and he told me that he was still currently there.
And when was this?
This was maybe like a week ago or so. He did mention that, and he mentioned also that he has a vehicle now, that he can use as far as going back and forth to work. And the picture he took, it's from his sister's house, because I remember what the house looks like.
Okay, but if he was not at his sister's house, would you have a problem with him having the visit, overnight visitation or non-supervised visits? If he was not living at his sister's house, would you have a problem with that?
If he had his own stable place to stay, and once my child comes to me and tells me he feels comfortable being around him, then maybe, it would be okay. I wouldn't have a problem as far as my son telling me he feels comfortable being around him by himself. But as of now, my son does not want to go over there. He does not want to share time with him because of the things he's seen when he was there.
Okay, so the things you're saying that he's seen over that week, that's why you're saying your son does not want to go visit him, correct?
Correct. I mean, it's just living like that, it's not healthy.
But while he was incarcerated, you brought your son to the jail to visit him, correct?
Correct, because I wanted my child to know who his dad was.
Okay. And in terms of retroactive child support, what is the time period that you're requesting retroactive child support for?
I would be okay if it starts from like Friday or Saturday. Sunday is not very good for me. And the reason why,
No,
he has to go to...
ma'am. We're talking about child support.
Yeah, I'm talking about the retroactive child support, the back pay, ma'am. What is the time period that you're requesting for the back pay?
Oh, the back pay. I mean, I requested back in 2012. Like, that's the date that I actually, signed up for child support.
Okay, so you're requesting retroactive child support all the way from 2012.
Yes. I mean, and my son was 2.5 months old, to be exact, when he was incarcerated.
Okay, but you're requesting child support for the time where he was incarcerated, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and was he working while he was incarcerated, to your knowledge?
Being incarcerated, as of my knowledge, I mean, he did have a job over there, but I don't know if there was a possibility where he was able to send money. And if it was an option, he never did send anything.
Okay. All right, Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
Ma'am, are you asking that there be some period of supervised visitation?
For the beginning time, it will be
who would supervise?
It would be my mother, or it would be my sister-in-law, which is my brother's wife. or my sister.
And Mr. Ortega gets along with those people?
Yes. Well, I mean, I don't think he would have a problem with that.
No. Okay.
Okay, but Your Honor, there's one thing about that. Mr. Ortega works on Saturdays. He wants the if it was going to be a phase-in, he would like for the start beginning part to occur on Sundays because he works on Saturdays. And Ms. Subius was not in agreement with that.
So, Ms. Subias, how do you think he could visit on Saturday if he has to work on Saturday?
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you are willing to see your child, you would do anything possible. So you would talk to your supervisor and try to accommodate, or move the schedule around. I'm pretty sure you can do that.
You think the supervisors are going to say, oh, you don't have to work on Saturday because I want you to visit your child?
I mean, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, I mean, I work
So,
Saturday too sometimes. So, I mean, what excuse do I have? Hey, I can't go Saturday. I can't go Sunday.
okay, what
Is it?
what is the problem with Sunday, a visitation during the day on Sunday?
It's best for who is going to supervise them those days. That's why they're busy on Sundays. Their Sunday schedule, you have to be on their schedule too, not just Mr. Ortega's schedule.
What is their schedule?
Their schedule, I mean, everybody has their own life. Sundays is just not an option. My sister-in-law has children. My sister works on Sundays, at church, and my mother, she has activities to do on Sundays. So Saturdays would be the best day for them overall.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Parker.
Okay. Your Honor, the state would like to call CSO Barrera.
Well, wait a minute. Mr. Ortega, do you have any questions for Ms.
I'm
Subias?
sorry.
I mean, if her sister-in-law works at a church on Sundays, I don't see a problem with the visits being supervised at the church. I mean,
Yeah, or are you asking her that question?
I mean, it's not really a question.
All right, that's what I asked you. Do you have any questions for her?
No, sir.
All right, you're going to have an opportunity to say something later, but right now you have no questions. Go ahead, Ms. Parker.
Okay. Your Honor, the state would like to call Arnaldo Barrera. Ms. Barrera, where are you currently employed?
Office of the Attorney General,
And what is your job there?
Child Support Officer,
And what is the nature and duties of a child support officer?
conduct investigations on calculating child support and retroactive child support.
And have you received any type of special training on how to calculate child support and retroactive child support?
Yes, I have.
And did you calculate that in this case?
Yes.
And what were your calculations for the child support first?
Based on the check stub provided by Mr. Ortega, the calculations used was $16 an hour at a 40-hour work week with a monthly gross of $2,773. After taxes and healthcare, a monthly net income of $2,080. I'm sorry, $2,280.46. His current child support should be $456, and that's 20% of his income, no additional children. And the medical support, given credit for $90 for medical support.
Okay. And did you also calculate retro?
I calculated retroactive child support also for the time periods from March 3rd through October the 4th, today's date. The first 2 months based on minimum wage would be, those 2 months would be $228. And then the following months was based on his income. The amounts total to $2,736 as of today's date, with a proposed payout of $55 a month, beginning November 1st, 2021, and monthly thereafter.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
Mr. Ortega, do you have any questions for Mr. Barrera?
No, sir.
Ms. Subias, do you have any questions for Mr. Barrera?
No, sir.
All right, you're excused then, Mr. Barrera. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Ms. Parker.
Your Honor, the state has nothing further.
All right, Ms. Subias, you wanted to say something?
No.
Mr. Ortega, you wanted to say something?
I mean, I just want to spend as much time with him as I can. That's all.
All right, the court orders that following orders would be in the best interest of the child. Father's ordered to pay child support amount of $456 a month and cash medical support in the amount of $90 a month, beginning November 1st, 2021. Retroactive child support judgment is awarded in the amount of $2,736 to be paid at the rate of $55 a month. Fathers to have possession and access on the first, third, and fifth Sundays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 9 periods supervised by the maternal grandmother. Thereafter, standard possession order. All other stipulations are approved. Anything further?
Can you repeat when the visitations are?
You'll be able to talk to the Attorney General about this order, okay?
No, Your Honor, no, I couldn't hear it either. Can you repeat the possession again?
First, third, and fifth Sundays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 9 periods,
Okay,
supervised by maternal grandmother. Thereafter, standard possession order.
okay.